I'm going to start by, like, at the very beginning by creating a new project. And this one, I'm kind of cheating because I need this video for a marketing piece and for our slides. So you might have seen this graphic and you might have seen the video I posted, but I'm going to show you the process and how I did it. So this one I'm going to call, and this is for our use case, Monica, I believe. So this is going to be for a specific property. Monica is a real estate agent. And so keeping different listings, different assets for those listings in a project will help the organization, help her, create new things and keep them organized. So let's just call this Lake Jackson Farms property. So where I grew up, Lake Jackson Farms was the place to live. It was, you were high society if you lived there. So that was just something I was familiar with. Not that I lived there, absolutely do not. Okay, assets for big house. And I can go ahead and set up my project so that I can find it quickly next time. Now I'm going to go into, I'm not going to touch the video editor today. I'm just going to go over the design editor. Okay, and so what I want to do is if I have time, I want to do a couple of things. I want to make an Instagram post that has a nice headline and a good image and get some attention, just something I can put out there with Monica's name and phone number and some information about the property. And then if I have time, she might also want to make a coloring sheet when, kids are with their parents looking at the house or something for them to do. It's always nice to keep the kids quiet. So I'm going to start here and I'm going to go in, I'm going to choose my size. And you can see we have a lot of options here. And so I'm going to go with an Instagram photo. And what I just learned this morning. And I'll show you. I don't know if you can. Okay, that's on the same screen. I can actually drag and drop into the canvas. I didn't know that until this morning. So I was pretty amazed at that because, some programs don't talk to each other. Like you can't drag and drop from Photoshop into Figma or vice versa. So that's really cool being able to just drop it in here.
Isn't it great that I can think of everything for you, Corey?
It's so great. I love it. I mean, that's why they pay you the big bucks. Okay, that's why they call you boss. All right. So now you might have seen this somewhere on like I said, on the Facebook post, and you've got different. So I have no copy space at the moment. And so I was looking at these shapes and I thought, well, this isn't exactly what I want. I want to mask this and create some room for copy, but I don't want to just use a square. So I'm going to go ahead and throw a square in here. And some of you that are more familiar with design editors, I'm sorry, I can't watch the chat while I'm doing this, so I'll catch up with any questions afterwards.
Oh, no, I got it. We're just making fun of you. It's all good.
Come on.
They're loving it. Just keep going, bro. Keep going.
All right. So I don't like this. I don't like that I can only mask off this section. So I did some exploring and I got into the finer detailed tools that are in here. And so I'm going to add a circle. And I know this looks terrible right now, but I'm just showing you what you can do using the tools that are in the Canvas Plus editor. So I'm going to take these two shapes, and they're not quite exactly what I want yet, but I'm going to take these two shapes and I'm going to shift click to select both. And now that comes up with some options. And if you're familiar with Illustrator, this is a lot like Pathfinder. And so I can do several things here. I can do a union, which combines the two shapes, or I can do a subtract, which since I have both of them, it won't really do much. or I can do an intersect, which will just leave the overlapping section. In this case, I want to do a union and create one shape. So now I have one shape. And that isn't quite what I need yet for my mask, because I want to put all my copy on this side. Because no, I don't, this is the more interesting side of the property and would definitely get my attention more than this, even though I like the whole thing. So I'm just going to drag it and stretch it until I get the shape that I want. And it's gonna give me some copy room. So now I've got my picture and my shape. So I'm gonna select both of them. And now it brings these options back up. And so if you don't see those options, it's because you're not clicked on. So you click on this one and this one. Now I can also group these and move them together. But I don't want to do that. And Control Z or Command Z on an Apple also works to undo. But you do have undo options. Okay. So I'm going to take both of these, and now I want to make a mask so that I can have some room to make my copy on this side. So in this case, and sometimes you get it wrong the first try, sometimes you get it right. Now I'm going to do an intersect. So basically, it's going to leave what's left. So now I've got my shape that I wanted, and I have plenty of room for copy. And so now this is really the easy part. I want to go and, okay, so I found my Zillow listing, and this is just Zillow.com. I just went to the page, found the listing and clicked on it. I'm going to take this link and I'm going to go pull out my drawer inside of Canvas Plus, and I want to use IntelliChat to create a headline. And I'm going to use Claude 3.5 because it has the anchoring and the vision. I don't need the vision for this one, but I could use it if I wanted to use a description of the front of the house. But I'm going to go ahead and use Claude 3.5 and pull my drawer back out. I'm going to do anchor to URL. And I'm going to go ahead and paste in that Zillow listing and close my drawer. And I'm going to ask it to create the headline for this listing.
You're like Bob Ross painting with Ruby. I need to get some music for you.
You know, I think Sonia made a pretty good face swap of you and Bob Ross at one time. Might have to throw that out.
Oh, I forgot. Don't bring that up. Don't bring that up.
All right.
That's why face swap's been gone for so long. I'm punishing her.
blame her. Okay, so this is luxurious oasis on 1.15 acres, fully renovated. It's a little long for the space that I have, but I do like the wording. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take that. Oh, wrong tab. Where am I going? Okay. And I'm going to close my drawer. And it's still there. It's in my chat history. It works just like IntelliChat. So,
Yeah.
now I'm going to add my title, my text, headline, and I don't have enough room for all of that. So I'm just going to take off this part because this is an Instagram post, so it doesn't need to have all of the detail. It just needs to catch someone's attention. And so now I'm going to go into this and I'm going to change my text. And since she is she's a female realtor and she's marketing, maybe she has used Personify and she's marketing towards female clientele. We want to give it something a little bit more light. And so I'm going to take the text down a little bit. If I click on the right thing. And this is my headline, so I definitely don't want it to be too small. I actually like the other headline I had, but we'll just stick with this one. And my neighbor just started using his weed eater of all times. That's awesome. So if you hear that, I apologize. But at least my dogs aren't
My
jumping in
dog
the
is
rain.
barking now. You're covering my dog's barking. That's good.
So this is still a little big, so I'm gonna take it down again. And again, it doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be perfect the first time. So we'll just call this good. I'm gonna go, I don't like it though. I'm gonna center it and I'm going to do that. So it's all up to you how you do this. And so now I want to use the same listing to create a small bit of copy. So I'm gonna go back to IntelliChat, open my drawer, go back into this one. It's the URL is still there. I don't have to type it in again. So now I'm going to tell it to now I don't get super fancy with my prompts. I try to keep it very, very simple. Uh, just because I don't have time to be super verbose and all that. So just create a short marketing paragraph for this property. And you can get as detailed as you want. You can be as short as you want. But I don't have a lot of room for this copy. And see, that's already a lot of copy. Nobody's going to read all of that. Discover your dream home in this meticulously renovated masterpiece nestled in a sprawling 1.5 acre lot. I love it. So I'm going to go ahead and take this. And I'm going to take the whole thing because I'm not sure how much of it I'm going to use. And I'm going to go ahead and add my text again. Use paragraph this time. Now you can use, it doesn't matter which one you use. You can format them bigger or smaller. But it just kind of gives you a good baseline to start from when you use the title, the heading, and the paragraph. So this is still a little bit big. Let's see what happens when I paste this in. Okay, that's way too much. So I'm going to take this down to, I'm going to start really small. Okay, that's a little better. Still a little bit big, and it's still a lot. So discover your dream home with this man at the market pace, step into a world of elegance, going to kitchen, high end appliance, spacious drivers. Let's just say that I wanted to cut it off here. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff in this, and I would probably create a full sheet ad for this property if I was actually selling it. But for the purposes of social media, you want to catch attention with a stunning visual. You want an impactful headline that's going to grab attention, and you want just a bit of copy that tells them something about the property. And you can use as much or as little as you want, but from a marketing perspective, you definitely want to keep things concise. And this is probably still a little much. So let's just do this. We'll shorten it up. All right, so let's say I'd like this, but I don't like the font. Roboto is nice if you're working on a program, but I need something that's a little bit better, and you can never go wrong with Montserrat. And we're going to keep it with the same look as our other one. So we're going to go Montserrat Light, just to kind of lighten it up a bit. And if I want to, I can grab both of these. And this is the alignment tool. So left align, and it only works if you have multiple items selected. Otherwise, it's going to try and align it to the canvas itself. See? So I'm going to Command Z. But if I have two items selected, it's going to align the two together. So left, center, right. top, middle, bottom. And you can also, well, I'll get into that in a minute. So I'm gonna left align these, but I don't like it. I don't like it. And this is why it takes so long for me to get any graphics put up on the Facebook group for you guys, because I like details. Okay, so I think I'm happy with this. It's obviously needs a little bit of love, but I'm trying to go quick. And that's the idea is this should be quick. You should be able to not, once you get your navigation down inside of Canvas Plus, you should be able to crank these things out in 5 to 10 minutes. But since I'm demonstrating, and I don't like talking a lot, this is taking a little longer. Okay, so I've got this and I've got this and I've got my image. Now I need to add the price. 1,199,000. I'm not buying that. So I'm going to go back in and add my text. I'll use headline this time. And we'll say 1,099,000. If you want to, if you're looking for a Christmas gift for me, Robert, it's right here.
Oh, you want that in Legos?
You know, my boys would love that.
I know they would.
Okay, so we're gonna go back with Montserrat to match this font, but where that is a little bit light, so we're gonna fatten it up a little bit with some semi-bold. Because some people, you know, they might just see the price and say, hey, that's exactly my budget, I'm ready to go. I'm not a realtor, so I don't know how that all works. So this one and this particular property has actually been on Zillow for 120 days. So I'm gonna add a little bit of a carrot for Monica's clients and say this is reduced by, let's say she's reduced it by $49,000 because it's been on there for 120 days. And then we'll just make that Montserrat. And it's a little big, so now we do want it, okay, regular is fine. We're gonna bring this down to, okay, that's good enough. And so now she has her listing, we're almost ready to post, but there's a few things missing. So we're going to bring in an image from this folder. She needs a picture. So we're gonna add this. And I haven't resized any of these. They're large files, but it's handling it just fine. Well, that's way too big. And I don't necessarily want a square, but I'm not gonna mess that up for now. I'm just going to put her image on here for the sake of time. But it could be anything, an image, a QR code. And I can take all of these and make sure that they're all aligned because we like that. Now she needs a signature and a phone number. So we're gonna go back over here, add this. Now you don't have to do that every time. You can also just, if you've got something that you like, you can click on the option key. Actually, no, that's not what I meant. The copy, it'll duplicate it. There you go. I'm sorry, I'm using, it's not Photoshop, but it works just as good. So I'm gonna say Harmonic, I can't remember what was her last name, Monica Vasquez, that's right. All right, and so I am going to choose something that's a little scripty. It looks maybe like a signature. just to give it some sort of personal touch. And that's a little small. We'll go back up a little bit. 10. And now I don't like how this box is this way, so I'm going to left align it so I have a better idea of the positioning on it. Now she needs a phone number. So I'm just going to copy and duplicate that. That definitely doesn't work. So we're going to go with Old Faithful, Montserrat. And let's say, want it to stand out a little bit. So now she's, okay. So now she's got her listing. And all I have to do now is if I want to get this now, I just do the render and I tell it that I want a PNG file. If I was doing something like, if I was doing a full page listing on like 8.5 by 11, then I would probably save it as a PDF. But for this case, this is just an Instagram post. So this is, okay. And going to render that. And when I render that, it's going to save it in my renders. Or I can download this. We'll get that looked at. That's, yeah. So I'm going to download this image so I can go. Now it's in my files. I can use it on my local machine. I can print it. I can take it somewhere else. I can use it later, whatever. Now, I don't know if that's absolutely necessary, but I'm also going to save it. And so this saves my scene. So I can come back to this later when the price changes. I can reopen this and I can change the price. And then I can re-render it and resave it. So that's how you can create a simple listing super fast, but without being confined by, oh, these are the only shapes I have. Well, you can create anything using these, and I call it Pathfinder, but I don't even know what that tool's called in here.
Which one are you talking about?
The
combined?
merging shapes, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
well, if you click on 2 images, you'll find it.
combined. There it is. Combined. Okay. So you're not confined by just the shapes that are in here. You can literally create anything. And I have a habit of, when we create graphics or icons or something like that, I always start with just shapes and create them. And that's just kind of my process. So I wanted to make sure that you knew that there were a lot of things that just using the tools in Canvas Plus that you can do. So now I want to create, no. Let's see. I'm gonna back out all the way. And I'm gonna go back in. Go ahead.
Yeah, so keep going. I was just gonna say, so one of the tools that is under development right now, and it won't take us long to get it done, is a one size resizing tool. And that will be like to take the one PNG that you have just done and you want to open it up as a Facebook post, maybe an Instagram reel, and an Instagram post, and a Google ad. So you can choose, just to drop that image in, and it'll relay out the text and the images to fit the spots. And you can go back and you can go into each one and tweak it, but it'll create all the sizes, and you just drop it in one time, and it will resize it into all of those different formats. So that's a tool that will be very helpful here, and that's the near future that will come out.
Awesome. All right, so what I just did, I was just showing you, I went back in, and this is still editable. I can go back and change anything, and it's still in my project. Now, here's my project. I go into existing project. This is my Lake Jackson Farms project, and I want to make something else. So, and this one will be a lot quicker because, oh gosh, I actually made it 30 minutes. I'll just show you this one real quick.
You've talked more today than you have in the last 10 years. How about that?
I mean, I can do less. I can. Okay, so I'm just.
You got 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
All right, I'm gonna go in here and I want to make a coloring book. Oh, look, I already did it. So I'm gonna take this.
Okay.
All right, so I made a coloring book to go along with Monica's property, and I would save it as a PDF, and it would be saved in my project. So